It's time for the Anchormen Podcast with Dan Ball and Riley Lewis.
Hey everybody, Dan Ball, along with my pal Riley Lewis. It's been another wild, crazy week in the world of politics here in America. And Riley and I have been talking about it all week on the talk shows, which is why we look forward to the end of the week where we get to come in, sit down on the couches, grab a bottle of whiskey, which actually Trump probably wouldn't be happy about since he doesn't drink, and sit around and BS for an hour or so. How you been, Riley?
Good. There's a lot going on. You're right about that.
You think?
Yeah. It's.
I mean, what happened this week?
We'll talk about it.
We struck Iran.
We did.
Kristi Noem got fired.
Repositioned.
Partial. Don't sugarcoat it. She got her.
Well,
Just be real. Okay.
I'm just saying, but she's still in the administration.
Listen. You make too many screw-ups, and you bring bad press on the Trump administration, and then, according to Trump, you lie under oath that you say Trump was signed off on a $220 million ad campaign, and he says, no, I didn't. You're probably going to get the old, you're fired, and that's what happened.
That is very serious.
And now Mark Wayne Mullins in.
Yeah.
What else? We're still in a partial DHS shutdown thanks to Democrats.
It's unbelievable. Yep.
We had 3 state primaries this week, and Texas blew it up.
Yep.
We got a Senate race that's still hanging in the balance with my pal Ken Paxton, and Steve Toth crushed Dan Crenshaw.
I like him a lot, by
15, 16 points, bro.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
That's a shellacking.
It is.
What else? Did I miss anything else?
No, I think
primaries,
that covers,
Christie's fired, Warren ran.
Yeah, and we're still
shutdown.
We're having dog parades instead of passing the SAVE Act, which really stinks. Everything rides on election integrity. I know. It's just...
We started on the rhinos in the Senate, which is why John Cornyn needs to go bye-bye. I'm done with that clown.
And did I see correctly that John Thune is out there stumping basically for Cornyn right now?
Of course they are.
Yeah,
dude, they all look after their own.
Yeah.
They want to keep him. I mean, right now, the word on the street is, and we'll get our guest's opinion on this, he's probably heard the same thing back in New York. The rumor is they're rallying around Johnny, and they'll probably try and use some leverage like, oh, if we finally nuke the filibuster for you and push through the Save America Act, then President Trump, you'll endorse Johnny and keep his jobby, right? And don't back Ken. And you saw what Ken did, and this is why I admire this man. He's a true soldier of politics. He fell on the sword earlier today or yesterday and said, the only way I'm backing out of this race is if the Senate passes the Save America Act, because that will be the most fundamental piece of legislation to change our elections for the better for the future. And I'm willing to step out of a race that he won, because be real, in the runoff, without the other, 1 or 2 Republicans off the ticket, okay, and they're endorsing, I think, and at least 1 or 2 are backing him, he's going to beat John in the runoff at the end of May, and they know it.
Yes.
I mean, they spent $100 million, and they were only like a point apart.
Yeah, it's still this close.
So I'm saying that's a man right there.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'd back out. I'd say, F you, I'm going to win this thing. I'm not backing out.
Agreed.
And then when I get in, I'll push other senators to get the Save America Act passed. Screw these old rhinos. So that one, we'll see what happens end of
we will, but you're right. It's not
runoff.
just, it is the bill. If there was ever a bill.
It is.
If Congress only does one thing for the rest of its entire existence, protecting our elections should be it.
But they should ask for more. You know what they should? What they should push is, if you want to save your boy Johnny so bad, you nuke the filibuster and you codify every single EO President Trump did. Sure. You do that, and then then you step aside. But just one, even though Save America's huge, I don't think that's enough. I'd say, screw you, I'm still running in the runoff. I'm going to beat John, then we're going to go, and we're going to get the Save America Act, and we're going to get more. That's what I would do. Anyway, let's get the opinion of our guest tonight.
Yeah, please.
Kevin Smith has a big one. Kevin is a board member of the New York Republican Club. I hear he can throw a good right hook. We'll joke about that later in the show when he comes on. He knows what I'm talking about as I'm setting him up. And no, he didn't punch me. What else? Oh, yeah, he has a little thing called The Loud Majority that he founded. Great podcast.
Yes.
Just fun all-around guy. Love chatting with him on our talk shows.
Oh, yes.
Love hanging with him when I go to New York City. Very opinionated like me. And so without further ado, let's bring our friend Kevin Smith on. There he is. What's going on, Kev?
What's going on? Every time I come on your shows, I'm in a T-shirt. Now I'm on the podcast, and I got a collar.
Well, you dressed up. And now we dress down. Yeah, the podcast, you don't have to dress up for. I'm usually in, and Riley's in a really nice one with a collar. We're in our sponsor's garb, Grunt Style. You heard of these guys. Grunt Style is the sponsor of the Anchormen Podcast. And so we wear their garb all the time because They make some pretty sweet shirts. But anyway,
They really do. They are very nice.
yeah.
I
We'll
like
have to
them.
send you one for coming on.
Even as a guy who has another pro-America merchandise company, I would say the Grunt Style certainly is the gold standard for all of them. I love all their stuff, and
there are great merch companies
I'm
out
like,
there.
Well, I'm like the Savannah Bananas compared to their Yankees, so it's they do a great job.
They do. How you been, brother? What's new with you?
I'm doing good, man. Just a wild day, a wild week,
Right?
to be honest with you. It was the primaries were shocking. I most people would say, the potential World War III starting was the most shocking, but I was actually more shocked about the primaries than anything else.
We can start there if you want. We'll get to the war second. I mean,
please.
You're the guest, bro. You take the first subject matter. You want to go with Texas and Arkansas and North Carolina? By all means, have at it. You're the political guru. That's what your show, Loud Majority's been about. So fill us in. What shocked the hell out of you in the Lone Star State?
Honestly, I was shocked that Wesley Hunt didn't drop out, that they didn't make it a two-man race. I like him a lot.
Me too. Nice guy.
I think he would have been great. But at some point you have to know that you're going to come in a distant third. Then we wouldn't have to be in this sort of situation with runoffs and whatnot and trading.
Oh yeah, Ken would have went hands down and been above the 2% threshold, so we didn't need a runoff if Wesley would have dropped out even a week or two ago. I think obviously before early voting would have been nice, but yeah, I think you're right. And
like I said, it's not a dig on him. I like him a lot.
No, nice guy.
But
you weren't shocked by the Crenshaw loss, were you? Because I wasn't. I was watching the polls. Steve Toth was ahead by double digits for the last 6-7 weeks.
Yeah, well, you know what bothers me the most about Dan Crenshaw is that he had such potential to be great. He had the resume, he had the excellent Saturday Night Live sort of reaction with Pete Davidson and going on SNL, and he became a national star basically overnight, and then screwed the whole thing up and decided to do everything that was wrong while in Congress, that not least among them the votes, but most among them, I would say, the stock trading.
Yes.
Allegedly,
Right,
he went to
the what now?
The stock trading.
Oh yeah,
it looks like as soon as he got elected, he went to the Nancy Pelosi School of Insider Trading, and his portfolio has done.
Sorry, I heard
very
an ING, and I thought you were talking about this issue.
Oh no!
Because I've heard that too on the streets. Let's be real.
Well, first off, I am never someone who's going to criticize someone else's drinking. But B,
what are you saying? You enjoy some libations over there, Kev?
You may have mentioned a video of me earlier where there may have been adult sodas, but it's look. The guy went to war. He could have as many drinks as he wanted. I don't really, you earned it. You can,
as long as it's not affecting your work for the people when you serve the people.
Agreed.
Exactly.
That's what I have an issue. And again, I'm not claiming that I know. Wait, I don't want to sound like Candace because I can't stand Candace Owens, but I know that there was an issue because I heard it from multiple people in D.C. in and around his office. So I think that probably inhibited some good judgment. The stock stuff didn't help him. On some of the big votes didn't help him. And then just when he would get hit by certain people, and I don't mean physically, like you hitting people. But anyway, I was going to give you crap about that. I thought it was hilarious, by the way. I thought it was hilarious. Look it up, folks. Look it up. I don't think he reacted well when he was attacked for his votes or the trading or his businesses or any of that. He didn't react well. You can't lash out and act upset and mad and name call right away, or you look guilty of what the other side or our side's accusing you of. Be calm, put some fire back on them, but don't. He just didn't react the right way. And look, I used to have Dan on the show all the time years ago. And then when a bunch of the votes that I disagreed with came out and the stock stuff and other things, then I stopped putting him on probably 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It's been a while.
Yeah, well,
did you ever put him on?
No, but I definitely would not ever even think about it. And for me, the biggest thing is the insider trading. Our politicians are selling us out, and they're getting rich, allegedly. But look at their portfolios. I mean, how was someone like Pelosi, a public servant who's never worked on Wall Street, worth upwards of $300-400 million? It just
we know you just answered it
exactly. It doesn't make any sense at all. And there's so much opposition to any kind of transparency on where they're trading or where they're getting information from. It's very incriminating to me.
I don't know. It's that North California wine. I keep hearing so much about it. Apparently, it's almost as good as Lincoln Park, Minnesota wine, according to Ilhan Omar's husband.
Okay.
I didn't know they grew grapes in a place where they played hockey, but hey, you learn something new every day.
Yeah, they'll grow for a couple months out of the year, and then you can make grape juice, but I wouldn't call it wine. Have you had some of the Midwest wine? No offense, don't write emails. I grew up in the Midwest. I've tasted Michigan and Ohio and Indiana and Midwest wine. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's not wine. It's juice.
I hear they make better wine in prison, so.
Some good old prison hooch out of the toilet. Wow. He's going to be getting a strongly worded letter from the Midwest Grape Growers Association and winemakers.
Well, you know what? if I do, it'll all be spelled incorrectly. So,
all right. What else about Texas? Anything in Arkansas and North Carolina? Finish up on midterms before we move on.
That's why I think that Paxton either making a deal or figuring something out to not have that runoff is almost as important, because they are going to have to dump so much money into that Michael Whatley race in North Carolina against Roy Cooper.
Right.
Because Michael Whatley is unbelievably not impressive, and Roy Cooper is loved in North Carolina. That's going to be somewhere Democrats are going to look.
Doesn't he have family legacy, Cooper? So they love the fam there. That's why I wanted Don Brown, the Navy JAG officer. I had Don on the show for the last year and a half, bragging him up. I wanted Don, but
he's amazing.
Moreover, with Mullins leaving the Senate, that's going to bring us down to 52. Now, if Cooper is out, that's 51 without losing any other seats, and now we have one seat majority in a place where Collins and Murkowski and McConnell vote against us every time. So, it's
Rand Paul sometimes, unless he gets pushed.
How can I forget?
Yeah. So we could be negative in the Senate. Wow, wonderful, great news. Thanks for coming on. See you later, Kev. Okay, cut him off. No.
Well, it's very obvious. Look, if Democrats gain control of either chamber in
anything,
November,
we're screwed.
We are. It's done. It's done. President Trump's term is done. The MAGA movement is done for at least 2 years. I have hope for 2028, but we've seen from Spanberger, Mamdani, Jay Jones, Katie Wilson, we know where this party's going. It's a communist party at this point.
Yes.
These
I'm
aren't
tired
Democrats.
of the socialists.
I'm so tired of people saying Democrats are liberals. These aren't even liberals. These are Marxists, and they want to see America fail. And that brings us to the war. They want President Trump to lose this thing. They want the U.S. economy to tank. They don't want the women of Iran to be free, which is really weird. All the No Kids Day people are like defending actual dictators and
listen,
tyrants and Ayatollahs and murderers.
There's liberals and Republicans right now trashing Trump over this. The same thing. It disgusts the hell out of me, Kevin. I want to hear your opinion on that, and then we'll go back to the midterms before we get too deep into the woods on the war. I'm disgusted by seeing some folks that acted like they were MAGA and America first now supporting Iran from the home soil. And so pissed because they think Trump's going to get us in another forever war that they want to actually say positive things about a disgusting Islamic regime that raped children, that murdered people, that beat women, killed women, imprisoned and raped women, threw gays off of buildings and stoned them. All the stuff liberals and most normal common sense Americans would be against. But because you think Trump betrayed you now, because he's striking Iran, it's not a war, now you're going to support a regime and trash talk Trump. Make me understand that train of thought there, Kev. You're on social media way more. You see the BS on X, and it ain't coming from the left. It's coming from some of the wacky right.
I don't think it's so much even a like of Iran as it is a dislike of Israel to a lot of these people. A lot of them can find a way to make every problem in their life Benjamin Netanyahu's fault. I mean,
yes. You mean the Groypers and the anti-Semites, and they hide behind, I'm just asking questions. Those guys.
I'll be honest, that was pretty good. But
thank you. You heard Trump trashed him today, right?
Yeah. Well, you know what it is that there are some people who genuinely think when they go to a restaurant, if the waiter messes up their order, it's actually Mossad. Like,
Candace does. Everything in life the Jews did. And now Carrie Prejean is on the same gravy train, and there's others in our movement that are now grifting to make a buck. Anything that you don't like in this world, the Jews did it. Israel's making the U.S. do it. Every problem, it's the Jews, Kevin.
Well, because there is a lane in social media to gain followers, which you don't lose after the point, by being the contrarian on every issue. So they spent 4 years being the contrarian on Joe Biden while he was in office. Now they're bitching about Donald Trump. They go, I call it the Epstein Gaza Charlie people. It's like they just bounce from one controversy to another, and they take the contrarian position, no matter what it is,
He's got it.
just to accumulate that niche member of followers.
That's right.
They never lose, because once you go viral once, you don't lose those. The Haktua girl is never going to lose her following. This MFer's not real. She ain't going to lose any of her followers. Just like Candace is not going to lose any of the followers ever of the wine moms who think that the Charlie Kirk assassination is some kind of a docudrama on Netflix, instead of maybe the worst thing to happen to this country since 9/11.
He would have been a president. And let me tell you,
president and the avatar of a generation was killed in front of the world. Look, even Kennedy, like MLK, these are monumental things. But in the age of social media,
Charlie was a king. Charlie was the king of social media with the young people under 25. That boy could go anywhere and talk to anyone and change hearts and minds. And even if he didn't, he was polite about it. He would have been an amazing president. And I'm disgusted that Candace Owens is hurting his legacy because she was in love with the man, upset that Erica won his heart, and that Erica took over TPUSA. And she has gone bat psycho crazy to grift, to continue to be popular and make money off of his death. And I am disgusted by it. And I've been on the record for months. I didn't jump on the bandwagon recently and say Candace is nuts. I've been saying it for several months. It's disgusting. She needs to stop it. And people that follow her and believe her, you're being duped. Sorry, Kev, go ahead.
No, you're right. This is like the worst 90s rom-com movie I've ever seen. Like, it should be starring Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt. It's all the same. It's just a girl pissed off that the star quarterback didn't ask her to prom. It is the worst of all the 90s movies, except it's real life. And it is so obvious. And look, every person, I don't care who you are, has been in love with somebody they can't have. The only difference is you don't have 6 million followers in a national show to bash their widow after the world watched you die. Like, this is a level, and I know I can't call her evil because then I'm going to end up on some fake list.
I saw that fake stupid list crap. I'll call her evil. You didn't hear about that?
No, what's
she said on her show, watch, the Mossad Israel Bibi is going to pay everybody the 7K BS to call her evil because a handful of people that after she released her latest stupid docuseries on Erica, everybody put, she's pure evil. She's evil. She's, she's like, yeah, see, the verbiage is all the same because they were paid and they were sent an email by Bibi and Israel and the Jews to call me evil. See, I told you. No, Candace, you knew we were going to call you evil because the you're saying is evil and lies. Well, nobody pays me anything except Mr. Herring that owns this network.
Like, I have to say evil because there's a 4-letter word that rhymes with bunt that would get me booted off social media. I mean,
she is one of those too. You're talking about. I'll see you next Tuesday, Kevin.
Yeah, I really don't want to screw up my algo, Elon. Please don't screw me up here. But I have a show to do too. But so it's like
we're gonna get you in trouble tonight.
Whatever. I'm sitting around the bar with my friends and everybody. We're going, wow, this Candace Owens, she's a real.
Yeah. See you next Tuesday. Got it.
That's like, and it's so.
But then what happened to Megan? What happened to Tucker? What happened to Carrie?
Yeah.
Because those 4 right there I just mentioned are all on the Jew hate train, blame everything on Jews. Donald Trump's owned by Bibi. They want to say the Epstein files are what made him get owned by Bibi because Epstein was a Mossad agent or worked with the Mossad. So the only reason Trump is doing Bibi's bidding is because they got the Epstein files hanging around his neck. I'm sorry. If they had the Epstein files hanging around Trump's neck, do you think he would have won 16, 20, which he did, and 24, and they wouldn't have used this crap before? Give me a break. Your thoughts on that, Kev?
The one that bothers me the most is Megyn Kelly because Candace Owens is dumb. Megyn Kelly is not a stupid person.
No, she's an attorney. She's
Tucker
bright.
Is not,
Candace is dumb.
The fourth person you said, I'm not too familiar with her, but Tucker
former Miss California, Miss America.
Okay,
I've had her on the show years ago until she started going crazy. And Carrie, if you're watching, what's wrong with you?
She's a trial lawyer. She's not dumb. So I don't know what she's doing with all this, and it's because I think since she left Fox, she's been since she left cable, she's been spectacular up until a month or two ago.
Well, Kev, you know what Bongino said, and I'm right on the page with Dan. Dan said, because he used to work at Fox, right? Yeah. Think about this. Tucker and Megyn had all the clout that comes with being a Fox News employee making millions of dollars a year. They had a staff of like 12 to 15 people. If they got to go somewhere for a big story, the private jet's ready for them. Clothes, hair, makeup, everything's done. Then she went over to NBC. Remember, got that big $30 million contract. They nixed her show. Tuck was making 22, 25 at Fox. Gone. Now they're in the private sector. They don't have the big Fox umbrella to pay for everything. This is Bongino, and I agree with it 100%. So now all of a sudden, you've got to up your personal following, which you were just talking about, Kev. Get that engagement up, get those subscriptions and followers up, but then you got to keep the engagement. So you got to say controversial, enticing things to keep the engagement so you can keep the money rolling in from your sponsors and advertisers, because now you're a private entity. You don't get to just suck off of the Murdoch you-know-what at Fox. Yeah. And that's what Dan said, and that makes sense. That tracks. Think about it.
It's so funny when you see a lot of everyone that's been on cable news when they have to enter the private sector, whether it's people on the right on Fox or whether it's people on the left like
Don Lemon stormed to church. Don Lemon stormed to church.
Don Lemon is doing man on the street interviews like a college sophomore. Like he's walking around the Jersey Shore going, "Hey, what do you feel about what are you 19?"
Look at all of them. They don't know what to do, bro. When the network tit has dried up, they don't know what to do, except that ain't journalism. They just go out and say stupid crap, have ridiculous guests on, blame the Jews, and then say, I'm just asking questions.
Well, when you put it like that, for both of you guys, I don't know if it's about the money. I mean...
What?
Hold on.
It's always about the money.
I know, money. I get it. And money is the source of all evil in this world, besides Satan. I understand. However, think about it. If you're a nightly news host on the biggest network in America, and you have, 3 to 4 million people watching every single night.
Yep.
Maybe once that, and that goes on for years and years, these people have spent like decades in cable news media. Yeah. Once all that ends overnight, maybe it's more about the attention than anything
else.
Ego. Yes. Yeah, it's the ego. It's the pride. I don't know if it's just about money. Maybe it's the ego.
Ego and pride goes back to the Bible too.
Because Don Lemon, when he stormed that city's church in St. Paul, I think he just was craving relevance again. He's washed up and he wants to be seen. He wants validation. He wants attention.
And what was Joy Reid doing?
Dominate the trending cycles, the For You page on X and Instagram and Facebook. Yep. And that's exactly what he did.
Was Joy Reid doing the night of the State of the Union? You saw that, right, Kev? She was on one of the protest stages across the street from the White House singing some crazy song with white liberals and their guilt and wearing... I think it's appropriation of the white culture. She'll have blonde, straight hair. Anyway, but Kev is so right.
Imagine hating Donald Trump so much that you grow his hair.
It's true, though. These people don't think for themselves. They just want attention. So I'm
gonna agree with Riley because especially Megyn and Tucker, they made more money than either one of them could spend in a lifetime. A
lot of money. A lot of money.
Yes.
Lives in the woods and goes fly fishing every day. I mean, how many nicotine pouches can one person actually buy? Okay. And look, I want to be clear. They're very good. I like them. I have them. But,
we're not doing a commercial for those unless he wants to start buying sponsorships on the podcast. And you know what? I wouldn't even take the money.
I'm trying to quit smoking. So, I gotta figure something out here.
I quit 3 years ago. Cold turkey, baby. Just do it.
Well, you're already skinny. I don't need to put on any more weight. You're going to be shooting me in IMAX.
The point is, I would agree. Money, I'm sure, is a part of it, but I think more than anything,
let's all agree. It's money and ego.
It's money.
Money and ego.
It's ego
all right, move on. We've given them enough airtime. Let's move on. Did we even finish primary talk? Paxton.
No. Yeah.
What about Chip Roy for AG against that state rep? What's his name? I'm brain farting the last name now. It's with an M. My God, not Middleton.
No.
Something like that. Anyway, he's in a runoff. He's in a runoff. You got that runoff. Oh, and then Brandon Herrera's in a runoff against Tony Gonzalez. That one we got to talk about because Gonzalez's seat is right on the border. This guy's been a rhino forever. Now he's got a huge sexual harassment scandal hanging around his neck with that intern or aide or whatever.
It's a former staffer.
That literally lit herself on fire
last September
because of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to make a joke about it, but how big a you have to be for someone to set themselves on fire?
We already knew he was a jerk before that.
How bad did she want to get away from him?
He, pardon me. I mean, he voted against Trump on stuff. He was never hard on the border like he should have been.
He wanted to put President Trump in prison.
This guy was a piece of, and I hope to God I had Brandon on, I think, last night or night before. I think Brandon's going to pull that out because the same thing with like in the Ken race, there was 2 below him on the ballot that obviously won't be in the runoff, and I'm pretty sure Brandon told me both them are going to endorse him before the runoff. So he's probably going to clean up on Tony come into May too.
Well, Brandon got really close the last cycle, right? He ran once before, and he...
No, he told me on the show he didn't get as close.
He did
no,
not.
he was several thousand apart in the last one.
Really?
Yeah, this one was like,
I understand.
1%.
Okay. I got confused. I thought he was super close and just
No,
barely
the last
missed
one
the
there was a
mark.
lot more gap between the votes.
Yeah, he's within 1% right now.
Okay, I want one race in Arkansas quick. I got to talk about. You touched North Carolina with Cooper, and we got Texas. What about this guy? You know who I'm going to talk about. We've been trying to get him on the show. You should get him on your show, Kev. If y'all don't know who Aaron Spencer is, folks, when this show's over, go Google Aaron Spencer, Lonoke County, Lonoke, Lonoke County, Arkansas. This is a dad who ran against the incumbent Republican sheriff who's been in multiple terms and just smoked him in the primary. He'll most likely win the general in November because it's a red county. And he's up on second-degree murder charges, and his trial is before the election. Now, why is he up on charges? Real quick, and then Kev will have you weigh in, because a lot of folks don't know his story. His 12 or 13-year-old at the time daughter was molested and raped by a sick, old-ass pervert who did it to multiple kids. Fast forward. He was in jail, but a liberal judge and DA let him out on bond during his trial. He then comes and kidnaps the now 14-year-old daughter, who's the star witness in the case against him. The dad wakes up in the middle of the night, where's my kid? Goes looking for her, probably had a Find My Phone app, pulls up, sees the sicko's truck. The girl's trying to get out of the truck. He's grabbing her. He jumps out with his gun, yells. The guy gets out of the vehicle, according to him, holding a tire iron or something in his hand, and he drops his ass. The people are loving it. He's an Army vet, but no experience in law enforcement. He just won his primary while facing second-degree murder charges for killing the guy who raped and molested his kid, kidnapped his kid, and God knows what he was going to do that night. Your thoughts on his actions and the potential of winning.
He admitted it. And he called 911 when it happened and
called it straight in.
He owns this. He's not running from this.
Yeah.
Good. You know what? The guy's a hero.
Amen.
I wish we had more men like him. I will say a good way of getting out of a murder rap is by becoming sheriff. But
well, I don't know. The trial's before the election, I heard. So that's going to be.
That would be.
They find him guilty, then he wins in November. What would they do?
But the sentencing wouldn't come until later. So right, there's a window.
I think if the voters around there, because they didn't move venue, if they're going to put him in, they're not going to. Whoever the 12 are on the jury, they ain't going to find him guilty.
I cannot imagine. Look, man. I mean, just on a base level, like to have that happen in the first place, and then have your daughter get kidnapped by the same guy because someone let him out. I don't know how you ever go to bed ever again,
right?
Like, how do you ever let your daughter out of your sight for the rest of your life? Like,
you have kiddos, Kev?
Nah.
Kiddos. So I have an 18-year-old that's going to go off to college this year. Let me tell you, I'm freaking the hell out, and I can tell you 100% as a licensed CCW carrier, if somebody ever touches a hair on my kid's head, I will drop you like Soleimani. You will be dead as a frickin' dog. And I think Aaron Spencer is an American hero. Okay, moving on. Anything else on that one?
I can't imagine.
We're going to rapid fire topics on you, baby.
Perfect. Let's do it.
All right, so midterm stuff, primary, that was fun this week.
Crockpot, by the way, big loss for Crockpot as well.
Oh my God, that's right. We know you love Jasmine Crockett, and I almost wanted to see a Crockett Paxton because this Tallarico guy, this liberal state rep is the devil. Talk about how evil this sick weirdo is. There's 6 genders. The border should look like your front porch with a welcome mat wide open. The what do you say? Transgenders need abortion care too.
He's dangerous because he's not dangerous.
Bingo.
He is so unassuming. He's like this quiet little guy that like soft-spoken, and I'm a minister, I'm a pastor. And he is the kind of guy that will ride the middle of that fence right the way to. I don't think he'll win because it's Texas. Hopefully Texas comes through, but he is dangerous in a way that Crockett and AOC and Tlaib and Omar and Mamdani are not.
Right, he's unassuming. People are like,
they're in space.
I'm a Presbyterian minister. I went to I went to school for this. I have a degree in theology.
there's a pufferfish theory about beta males, because pufferfish will, because they're smaller than the female pufferfish, they will actually sneak up behind the female pufferfish in order to mate, like most male feminists will do. James Tallarico is a male pufferfish.
Wait, if you're a male feminist, do you even sneak behind the woman, or does the woman sneak behind you? Anyway,
no, but it's like, no, I'm an ally.
Yeah,
I'm not even like that. I wouldn't even try until you get 3 or 4 glasses of wine in you, and then all of a sudden in comes the pufferfish.
Right.
Okay. Well,
I feel like he'd be more like laying there and being like, do whatever you want. Anyway, we're going to get censored on this one if we go down that train. Anyway, Tallarico, big fat no, Texans. You know who also got the big fat no this week? Kristi Noem got the boot. We got to talk about Kristi. We all liked her as gov. We all thought when Trump nominated her, it was a good thing. And then some things with DHS over the last few months didn't look too good. I don't think she handled them the best when it comes to PR in front of the public eye with the media. And then let's face it, the testimony this week and what Trump considered lying under oath about this $220 million ad buy, along with the missteps in Minnesota and the way she handled that stuff and some other things. He fired her, is what it is.
Well, people are trying to say she's been reassigned, but I'm like, okay, for my millennials out there, she may not have been fired. She has just been asked to move her desk to storage B. Yeah. She is Milton of the administration right now.
Yes, if you watch Office Space, folks, go watch Office Space. You'll get the reference.
First off, if you haven't seen Office Space, how are you alive? But
where's my red stapler? Red stapler.
He has stopped receiving a paycheck, and it will just work itself out. There was a meeting with the Bobs.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah, we're gonna have to go ahead and ask you to move on down to the basement.
So maybe she wasn't fired. She just can't find her stapler. And doesn't.
What do you think about Senator Mark Wayne Mullen getting the appointment? Well, it's got to get confirmed.
He's great.
Yeah,
he's great, dude. He threatened to beat the union boss on the floor of the Senate. He got out of his chair and started taking his rings off.
I remember that.
Yeah.
And do you remember? By the way, did I just see yesterday or today, whatever, that bald-headed big Teamster union boss endorsed him and said he's all for him? Yes.
Well, because Sean Fain, I think his name is.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
Different guy from the one he wanted to fight.
Yeah.
He's that was so funny though. And then you heard Bernie in the background. Hold on a minute. Hold on. You are a United States Senator. Would you stop, please, with the Larry David hands?
He does. He is like Larry David.
Minimum wage, $15 an hour.
Oh yeah.
It's all.
There's another guy that's never worked a day in his life, but he'll milk the money out of his book deals and everything else and act like socialism's a great thing, but he loves capitalism.
I hate Mike Bloomberg, but on that debate stage when he said, "You're the only socialist in America with 3 houses," I fell off the chair. He was like, "Yes, I have a home in D.C., I have a home in Vermont, and yes, I do have a lake house." I was like, a lake house.
I think Bernie's best moment, honestly, who was he was doing an interview with someone. They talked about border stuff. He actually said that we do need borders. That was surprising. Big win for President Trump. But then they asked him, why don't you fly commercial or coach ever? And he was like, "Well, I can't. I can't fly coach. I won't wait in the line." I thought that was pretty
Bernie
amazing
Sanders.
for Bernie. Yeah.
Bernie Sanders' most famous line was, "Open borders is a Koch brothers scheme to keep American wages down." And he said that in 2014. I just went, if you watch that clip now, you just go, "Who is that?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where did he go?
These people that have been in so long, that's not a reason Cornyn and all these clowns need to go, left and right. Yeah. I'm so sick.
We need term limits.
Yes, we do.
We need term limits.
Yes, we do.
It's long overdue.
Yes, we do. I know you got to run soon. Got to talk about the strikes in Iran. I don't like calling it a war because I really, truly, as a veteran, understand this is not a war. These are precision strikes. They don't even have the forces left after 6 days to actually fight back like it's a war. We haven't sent ground troops in. Hope to God we don't ever. And we're not going to go in and do this nation building crap and occupy. Trump's promised that, like we did under the past 3 presidents with Iraq and Afghanistan. So these are strikes in Iran to take out a horrific 46-year-plus regime that have killed, yes, Americans, yes, Jews, and Muslims around the globe, whether directly or through their proxies. So I want to hear the loud majority's opinion. Kev?
Look, I want to first start off by saying President Trump is saying there's going to be a month or two sort of engagement. I hope it is. If this goes on 5, 6, 7 months, God forbid the body count starts getting a little bit higher on the American side.
Oh, he's going to have a problem.
Then it's going to change a lot of boots on the ground sort of kind of stuff.
I'll be critical if that happens.
But as it stands right now, Iran is nothing like Iraq and Afghanistan.
Thank you.
Iran is an educated country. They have good schools. They have infrastructure. They have major metropolitan cities. This is not the sort of 8th century cave dwellers we were fighting in Kandahar.
Oh, that's a great point.
These are people within a, like I said, Tehran is a modern built city. Maybe their culture is a little bit different. So this is slightly different. When they drop pamphlets out and say, "Don't be here anymore," we're bombing it. When they did that in Iraq and Afghanistan, half the population couldn't read the damn pamphlets, so none of them left. And that's why there were so many civilian casualties. Now, this is going to be totally different. You don't have the sort of Condi Rice, Dick Cheney crew that wants to rebuild every nation in the Middle East. You have an administration that wants to precision strike, get in, get out, the way Reagan did it back in the 80s. He wasn't afraid of conflict. He was smart enough to not get involved in prolonged conflict.
Yes.
I don't think they were going to be able to kidnap the Ayatollah the way they were able to kidnap Maduro in his pajamas. But they just stole a giant communist in his pajamas. Like, someone in Cuba right now is going, oh, shit.
Well, yeah, they all about down south are going, You saw how quick the Colombian president,
yes.
Petro, came up to the White House and started kissing the ring.
Bad. I feel bad to Kim Jong-un. Like, he's probably like, guys, I have rockets too. Hello.
I saw a meme from North Korea that's it's Kim Jong-un on the phone going, "Hi, Donald, we good?" We good. Don't come get me in my PJs while I'm cutting my hair.
They just keep going further east.
Yeah.
Until they're going to get to the other side. But look, I hope this doesn't turn into a prolonged thing. I trust Pete. I trust General. I can't think what
Raising Cane.
Raising Cane.
Raising Cane. Yep. Air Force guy. Me too.
I'm
an old Air Force guy. So,
but I will say that, you know what? Anytime there are caskets coming off the airplanes at Dover, it's going to be something that is going to hurt whoever's in office.
Well, none of us want this. And let's be real. Let's talk about that real briefly, because I looked at the incident report on that, and I talked to some folks in the military. And the Kuwaitis were being overrun with drone attacks and missiles coming in, and our jets were flying over their airspace as well.
Yes.
And they got confused. That's why they hit 3 of our F-15s, because they didn't know if they were Iranian fighters mixed in with drones, mixed in with ballistic missiles and everything else that was hammering at them. And then with all that chaos, one of the rockets slipped through their defense system, which we helped them build after the Iraq War, the first one. And that's what hit then our facility that killed the 6 troops. But you got to think about this real quick. 6 days in, every Navy ship, most of their fighters, their air defense systems, all this stuff's almost gone. We didn't lose anybody in that combat fighting. These 6 were in a building hit by a rocket because the Kuwaiti defense system didn't hold up because of the way Iran was, the barrage of rockets coming in with drones, with their fighter jets and our fighter jets mixed in. So there was a lot of confusion. That's why the friendly fire takedown. Thank God those 6 didn't die. The Kuwaitis treated our pilots nice. They're all home safe. I know one of them, I think, lost part of his hand. Yeah. But for the most part, they're good. The other 6, that building strike. But Kevin, talk to the people briefly about why this is more than just taking out the evil regime that, by the way, wreaked havoc for 46 years across that region and the globe through either direct attacks or Hamas, Houthis, or Hezbollah. But bigger picture, Iran works with our biggest enemies all the time, China and Russia. Again, I know the grifters are going, yeah, shut up with Trump playing chess. He is, okay? Taking out Maduro, taking out Iran, all this stuff pins together with our 2 biggest adversaries. Explain it to him, Kev.
Not only our 2 biggest adversaries, I would say our 3 biggest, because a functioning Iran hurts Saudi Arabia. Right now, Saudi Arabia is the king of the Middle East. Why? Because you have people like MBS who are willing to enter this millennium. And the other giant power was Iran that refused to enter this millennium, business-wise, economic-wise, world player-wise. I mean, MBS, he's a theocrat as well, but he cares more about money than he does about Muhammad. And
it's true.
And he does, he's a savvy business. He's also another giant, but he cares more about money. So if Iran is able to function and get someone in, whether it's the Shah's son or just a moderate cleric who actually joins the world, participates more openly and open,
it'll bring peace to the Middle East.
That'll hurt Qatar. That'll hurt UAE, and that'll hurt Saudi Arabia financially. And moreover, it will continue the process of the Abraham Accords of bringing peace to that region, because Iran were the people funding the countries surrounding Israel that were bombing them, whether it's Hezbollah or Hamas or the other one that starts with an H that I can never remember.
Houthis.
Yeah, the Houthis
Down in Africa. Yeah, the Houthis. That's all freaking.
All of them are funded by Iran.
Yeah, don't forget, Obama gave them tons of our money. How many years ago? 12 years ago? They've been using that cash to hit us and hit everybody else.
Lebanon is going to fund these things. I think they're going to go. I think after when Lebanon loses the funding that comes in for the terrorist groups, they're going to go, all right, well, we don't have many other options now. I guess we might as well get with
the program.
Well, Lebanon itself, they're barely holding on. Their political system has a lot of issues. So Lebanon, they don't need some terrorist.
They'll go with the flow. Once Iran fully falls, they'll go with the flow.
Lebanon is barely hanging on. They don't need that, and they won't support it.
But stopping Iran from selling oil and stuff and doing business with China and Russia, just like shutting Maduro down from, again, selling oil to China and Russia, and allowing, there were training camps off the coast on little islands in and around and on Venezuela that, guess what? They said the frickin' Houthis and Hezbollah and Hamas and other terror groups are training there just a few hundred miles off our shores because Iran was paying for it and they had a deal and a trade with the oil. So Trump's dismantling this entire network. Let me tell you, 50 years from now, when they look back, and what do they call it? The annals of history? Yeah. They're going to go, President Trump was hated by the media and some people, but by golly, his policy made America stronger and the world safer, damn it. Period, end, full stop. Am I wrong, Kevin?
100% right. Even my last point will be, even if you look at the tariffs he put on, where did he put the biggest tariffs on which countries? The small ones surrounding China. Why? So that they would all play ball with him. Bangladesh, Vietnam, Indonesia.
He knows what he's doing.
That whole Indo-Pacific area, put tariffs on every single one of them so that they would come to the table. Why? So that they would trade with us instead of trading with China.
Why do you think he went over last year and did the big, huge tech deals and investments with the Qataris and the EAU and with the Saudis? Because now, like you just said, they like their money. I mean, look at Dubai, for God's sakes, and parts of Qatar. These guys got Lambos and Burberry and white women and whiskey. This is stuff Muslims aren't supposed to have, but they have it and they like it. So guess what? He went over. In that order, thank you. Money, women, and whiskey. But he went over and he did the business deals. Now we're all invested together. We're all partners. And Israel, we're all partners, right? So now, hey, your little bad stepbrother over here, Iran, is effing around, and they're going to find out. And none of the other Muslim nations went, okay, fine, go ahead, Trump, and we'll help you out. Because they're worried about the business, the investments, like you called it, Kev. They're worried about the green. And that's what a businessman knows as commander-in-chief. Final word to you, Kev.
Thank you guys so much for having me. This is fun, Next time I come on, I'll dress appropriately. If you guys are
dress down. Get yourself some whiskey and put a T-shirt on.
Well, but I'm on the day show. I'm on the T-shirt. So today I put on a nice little collar for you.
You look great. You're fine. Tell folks where they can follow you. Watch Loud Majority, your podcast. Yeah. If they're in New York and they want to join the Young Republicans, whatever, fill them in real quick, Kev.
Absolutely. You guys can follow me anyway. Just type in Kevin Smith into all the social medias. Me and Silent Bob will pop up. Obviously, I'm not him. So pick the other one. But you guys can check out Loud Majority live, 3 p.m. on Rumble, 3 p.m. Eastern, every day on Rumble, Monday through Friday. We like to have a little bit of fun and, we like to laugh, as you guys can see. So thanks so much for having me on, boys.
All right. As you sign off, I'm going to give you grief. I've never been on your show. All right. Goodbye, Kev.
I have the texts. We'll work it out.
You invited me on? When?
Yeah.
I'm debunking this. This is fake news. Okay.
You know what? Now I'm going to be late to my damn. Now I'm going to be late to my damn thing just to prove you wrong.
Oh
Damn
crap!
boy.
No, get out of here. You invited me on. When did you invite me on?
He's got receipts?
Yeah.
Kevin, do you have
I want to
receipts?
see some receipts, Candace. I don't know, but I know.
Is that what she said?
I know. Yes. I don't know, but I know.
I don't follow her. I don't know her stuff. You know that.
I know there's not a there, but there's a there. Like, that's the kind of crap. Then she'll talk in circles for 2 hours and then go, see, Erica and the Jews did it. Like, that.
She doesn't have better stuff to do.
She's
whatever.
insane.
Okay,
I'm going to find it. I think it's in your Twitter DMs.
Yeah, you're full of it. See, I knew you didn't have it. All right, Kev, get out of here. You got to run. I know. Get out of here.
Hey, boys.
Kevin Smith, guys, Loud Majority.
That was
Good
fantastic.
guy.
Yeah. He has
He's
a
lot
great
of
show,
fun.
by the way. If you guys haven't seen it,
Yeah.
highly
3
recommend
p.m.
it.
Eastern on Rumble, the Loud Majority.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith. And I love that little Clerks reference there with the actor. No, he's not Silent Bob from Jay and Silent Bob's and Clerks and all that. He's not that Kevin Smith.
And one thing, I wish we had more time with him. But I want to ask you, despite President Trump's remarkable track record, so many people doubt him. I just want to know why. I mean, he's the only...
Yeah, but Riley, hold on. Who's doubting him? The people that were...
People on both sides.
Yeah, I know that, but hold on.
But why?
The people that said they were on our side, were they really, truly MAGA and Trumpers? Because I've been on the bandwagon since 15, coming down the escalator. Even my wife was for Ben Carson. Yeah. And I'm like, no, I'm for that guy. And she's like, what? Donald Trump, that loud guy, you're fired guy? And I'm like, yes, honey, that guy. And I've never wavered. Even if he makes a mistake, I'll be critical and say, I don't like he did that. I don't like he tweeted that.
Sure.
This war better not last more than a few weeks, couple months max. Don't put troops on the ground. Like, I will be critical, but I'm not going to jump ship like some of these frickin', and I've already mentioned them.
No, I know, and we don't have to.
But think about it. Were they Trumpers 5 years ago, 8 years ago? No, they jumped on the bandwagon in the last year or two.
But here's what I
think
can
about
tell you.
it.
I do know people personally who voted for President Trump 6 times.
Yep.
And the summer of 2015, these are people who said he was going to win in 2016. They stumped for him. They love him. They do support him. But on this particular issue, there's a lot of skepticism because we have a bad track record
with wars
Syria,
in the Middle East,
Libya, Iraq, Afghanistan. I just don't understand why.
And all the negative fake news that the Jews are making him do it. That doesn't help. Okay?
It does not. That does
so
not.
When you have major voices out there that act like they're in the Republican, conservative, MAGA, I shouldn't say Republican because screw the Republican Party.
Yeah,
there's a bunch of rhinos.
Different thing.
Excuse me. Let me correct myself.
Different
For
thing.
those people out there that have a big audience and a big voice, and it's not us. We know our voice is small, our audience is small. We're nowhere near what Megyn Tucker and some of these guys are. But when they're out there spewing their BS, it's kind of like Bongino said the other day. I actually don't want you watching my show. If you believe those people that are grifting, that have flipped on a dime on Trump over something, whether it was Epstein or this war, or strikes rather, or a certain bill, whatever, you were never, ever truly MAGA. Don't act like you were. And I can go back and show you clips from a few years ago of all those people that have now flipped, talking trash on Trump several years back.
I have seen
so
that.
They were never, ever MAGA. You telling me Tucker was MAGA? Megyn Kelly was MAGA?
I don't know.
Candace was MAGA?
I don't
There's
know.
plenty of clips of them literally trash-talking him.
I know. And I'm not here to... Look, I don't know what's in anyone's mind. I don't know. What I do know is that President Trump should be trusted. I have full faith in this. I think it's going to work out great. I think we're going to be friends with Iran. I think we're going to share resources with Iran.
Like Bongino said yesterday on the show, guess what? He sees intelligence reports you and I don't see, Riley.
Yes.
That 320 million Americans don't see.
He has visibility into this like nobody else. Only him and God really know what's going to happen next.
And if they got the intelligence that Israel hit them before and was getting ready to hit again, and they were gearing up to hit Israel, but also hit us at the same time, and that's what Pete said. They were going to hit us at the same time they hit Israel. Then you're going to sit back and wait. And like Pete said, if they would have sat back and waited, or Marco said this one, Rubio, if we'd have sat back and waited and they would have hit Israel and our bases and we lost troops, he said, then you all, because the press was around him, then you all be sitting here barking like dogs at me and President Trump and Pete about why didn't we see it coming and why didn't we stop it?
Yeah.
Now you're going to bitch if we attack, and you bitched if we didn't and we would have lost troops. So guess what? Donald J. Trump and the TDS syndrome in this nation, he's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. Think about it.
Agreed.
If we wouldn't have pulled the trigger literally first, and Israel would have launched a strike, and now they're going to say, see, the Jews made us get into it. No, these two countries have been warring, just like other Muslim nations that have been warring against Israel for decades. So if they would have started hitting each other, the intelligence was there, they would have hit our bases. Look, on the first day of our strikes over the weekend, the first thing they did was go right back at our assets in Qatar, in Kuwait. They fired at the Saudis. They fired at all their fellow Muslim nations where we have troops.
Yes, very frantically, by the way, which goes to show that they can't govern without the Ayatollah. That's very clear. However, the regime, the Iranian people, I think, have a very clear 10-point plan for what they're going to do.
The people want them all gone and want to have like a normal. And again, I know under the Shah, things weren't amazing back in the 70s and beyond, but go back and look at some of the pics and images and video and the history of the Persian people in the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Sure, yeah.
And women were walking around driving cars, going to college and being somewhat normal for a Muslim nation. Hello. And Christians weren't getting persecuted. Gays weren't getting thrown off buildings, to my knowledge. And as soon as those psycho, radical Muslims came in and took over, and the Ayatollah, look what happened to that nation. But forget just that nation. Yeah. Look what happened to that region and then the attacks around the globe. They were the financier of, I'm going to say hundreds, has to be hundreds of attacks, because don't you remember how many attacks were launched from Iran at our bases about a year and a half, 2 years ago? 120?
200.
Oh, 200, thank you.
It's a lot, it's a lot.
So start adding up since they took our hostages at our embassy in 79, and then hitting the Marine barracks in 83, and then from there just add the rest of the strikes from their 3 main terror groups that we already mentioned. And yeah, it's probably maybe a couple thousand strikes over the last 46 years, and chanting death to America every time you give a speech. I'm sorry, it was time to do something.
Agreed. Well, I think your last point is the point. I think everything else, honestly, is irrelevant. The point is, Iran is operating inside the Western Hemisphere. We just had a mass shooting in Austin, Texas. The guy said his sweatshirt said property of Allah. Yes.
And what was underneath the
Iranian
sweatshirt?
Flag on his shirt.
Thank you.
So we have Iranian regime sympathizers in the Western Hemisphere. We have Hezbollah in the Western Hemisphere. What President Trump is doing...
They were training down in Venezuela.
Yes, there was an imminent threat facing this country, and we've made it clear, if you threaten our people and our country, we will take action.
And Trump doesn't do idle threats.
It doesn't matter who was going to strike or when or how.
He watched 2 previous presidents, Obama and Biden, make threats, draw BS red lines in the sand, and then let these scumbags step over it and over it and over it. And he even let them step a little bit. Think about this. After we did Midnight Hammer last year and hit them, he then gave them red lines, and he pushed deadlines back because he would say, do it by this weekend. He let them ride a little bit and let them ride and let them ride.
He did. Because he knows this is serious. He's not messing around. People think this is like a video game. He's taking this very seriously because this is serious.
He doesn't want to.
This is a big deal.
Those 6 names, you see how tired he looks this week? Those 6 names are going to be etched in his mind forever that we lost in those barracks in Kuwait. I know for a fact, because I've talked to people within the administration and family, I know for a fact it's weighing on his heart and head greatly. No commander-in-chief, unless you're some callous piece of trash, goes into a conflict going, well, if we lose a few, it's whatever. No. President Trump takes this very, very seriously that we just lost 6 troops. And by the way, if we conclude this thing in a few weeks, and that's all that we lose after taking out an entire regime, their Navy and Air Force, I gotta say, you better everybody out there in the fake news, whatever, you better start commending our troops, the new non-woke commanders, Pete Hegseth, Marco Rubio, and President Donald Trump. Because if we get out of this with 6 casualties, taking out an entire regime, that to me is military history.
It's world history too. We may see a free Iran. I think we're on the brink of a free Iran, and that would be freer than ever before.
Well, it's great for the world.
It is.
It's good for us.
Yes,
and it's not just good, number 1, it's good for our national security.
It is.
Number 2, it's good for, that's all we should worry about as America First people. It's good for our national security. Number 2, it's good for global security, and specifically that region where we now have business partners that Trump just did multi-billion-dollar deals with, totaling trillions of dollars with the Qataris and the Saudis. So thank you. And 3, let's go to the energy, because they did control, because it ain't going to be much longer until they don't control the Straits of Hormuz anymore. And then they can't try to hold hostage 20-some% of the world's oil. And 4th, it's putting our other adversaries on notice.
You're right about that.
And finally,
You're right about that.
Stops our 2 big nemesis Iran being the third, but the two biggest, China and Russia, it stops them from doing business with our third biggest adversary. So all of this Trump thinks about. So when some jackwad is on his podcast or her podcast, crap talking Trump and acting like it's World War III and he didn't care, he lied, he sold it to the deep state and they're using the Epstein file to frame him and he's Bibi's bitch and all they're trying to do is get engagement and grift you. I'm not. Riley's not. We're not. You know, I can tell you that. We don't make any money doing this podcast, okay? We don't monetize the podcast. We don't monetize our shows. We're an old school mom and pop family network that gets our money from advertisers, and then we get paid by our boss. That's it. Nobody's grifting to monetize. We don't need to be adversarial or say the opposite. If something's black, we say white so that we'll get more clicks and downloads so we can make more green. That's not how we operate here at OAN. Can the other ones that you're watching that you think you trust, that have the inside scoop, that know the no-no even though there's not a there, can you trust them? Because the only way they make money is if you engage and watch.
And
now I'm done.
Yeah.
You can tell I'm a little pissed off.
I can't understand
because I don't like people trying to screw with this movement
I know.
that I have been a part of for 10 plus years and die hard, never wavering. And when I hear somebody calling me some stupid name because they think they know me or they know who I take my money from or they think they know what's in my head, you don't know squat, okay? The words coming out of my mouth, that's who I am. That's what I stand for. And for right now, unless I see something different, I, as a good former military member, I am sticking with my commander-in-chief. And I am following his orders. And right now, we are in a conflict, not a war. War has not been officially declared by Congress. We've only been striking for 6-7 days. This is a strike. How many strikes did Barack Hussein Obama do in his 8 years? Do you know? It was tens of thousands of rockets fired into like 7 or 8 different countries. So I don't want to hear squat about Trump's a neocon and we're going to be in a never-ending war again. And no, shut up and give it time. And if you can't wait, then get off the Trump train. Get off the MAGA team. Go make your money grifting, spreading lies. And again, don't watch me. Seriously. I'm on with Dan Bongino. He said it earlier in the week. If you don't like what I'm saying and you're believing those grifters over me, I don't want you watching my show. I don't make any money doing this, so I don't care. I get a salary from the Herring Broadcasting Family Network to do a talk show 5 nights a week, and you and I do this podcast to promote our talk shows and this network. That's it. We got a sponsor to help pay the bills because we don't make extra money to do the podcast. Now, can any of those names we discussed tonight say that? I don't think so. Open up your books. Let's see where your money's coming from because I'll do it. And with that, Riley, you can have the final word.
Our sponsors, of course, we want to thank you all for sticking with us tonight. These episodes drop Thursday and Friday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. We have some housekeeping things to do, including our amazing sponsors. So as we mentioned earlier, this sweet merch, if you want some, you can only get it with Grunt Style. They have their clothing line, of course, Grunt Style merch, and then their foundation. The merch line just supports the foundation. It's
and the foundation
and operated. It's
all
amazing.
run by vets, and then all their programs, when you buy a t-shirt or a ball cap, goes to their programs that help veterans and, this is key, their family members. People always forget about the family left behind. You know, whether they're overseas serving or they've passed, people forget about the wife, the husband, the kids. So the foundation does good. That's the reason I partnered with Tim Jensen, the president of the foundation, because I love Tim and Red Grunt Style Foundation.
Now, as for where you can find us, for all things OAN, check us out on OANN.com. It's got everything to do with the network, our content, what we're doing, the list of our talk shows, our news articles. You can find out everything about the organization. And that brings us to our incredible talk shows. We want to say, of course, welcome back to Chanel Rion.
And congrats on the new baby, Chanel.
That's amazing.
She's back. Hopefully you've been watching Fine Point with Chanel since she got back. She is looking beautiful. The kid's beautiful. Love their family. Chanel, welcome back. Nice to have you. Last week you learned that David Pollock will be joining us soon. He'll be coming online in April. God bless you all for watching. As Riley said, just go to the website. That's where you can find all things OAN, OANN.com. We just hit an hour. That means we're going to get yanked off the stage. We're done. Thank you so much for tuning in to the latest episode of the Anchormen Podcast. For Riley Lewis, for the entire team at the One America News Network, I'm Dan Ball. God bless you. Thank you. We couldn't do it without you, those fans, those viewers of OAN. God bless.
Want to see more great videos like this? Click on the link below to subscribe to OAN Live and watch Dan Ball's Real America and The Matt Gaetz Show on Dish Channel 212. Tune in, subscribe, and watch today.